Joining me right now, Daniel McGahn's with us, President, CEO, Chairman, American Superconductor. Thank you so much for being with us. We think about power solutions and wind and everything on the grid. Tell me a little bit about the latest and what the company's been working on.
Yeah, we're at the center of all that right now. There's a lot of tailwinds that we're starting to experience in the business. We're about grid resiliency. We're about bringing more renewables onto the grid. We're also about working with large industrial companies now, which is a new part of our business, to be able to make sure they have reliable power for their capacity to be able to make products. And that could be from semiconductor to materials processing. We think about the energy future, it's going to require a lot of materials, and we feel like we're at the center of that.
And it's interesting because everybody keeps talking about, first it was EVs and where are we going to plug all these EVs in? Now it's all about AI and data centers and power and all that. I mean, that must be a conversation that you're having, right?
Yeah, that's a deep conversation that we're having with multiple customers. What the grid's going to have to do in the future is something it's never been asked to do before. It becomes the lifeblood of everything we do. It has been that way for a period of time, but it's just going to get deeper and broader. And what we just felt is that we're in a nice situation right now. We've experienced some nice growth. We hope that that can continue with these tailwinds that are our back right now in the business in multiple fronts, from renewables to materials to semiconductor, and even our military business is starting to grow.
And your systems are protecting and helping the Navy's fleet, right? Tell me a little bit about that and that kind of contract. And do you expect that partnership to be renewed? And if so, when? What's the outlook with that?
We have a long history with the U.S. Navy. We developed what we call a ship protection system. It's basically noise-canceling headphones for the ship. It takes the signature away that minefields would see. We've been able to now deliver that into the fleet. We have 5 contracts with the U.S. Navy for that product. We have a new product called a mine countermeasure device that the U.S. Navy has funded, and hopefully that will go into production. And we just announced about a week or so ago a major order with the Canadian Navy, the Royal Canadian Navy, where they want to take our technology now and also put that on multiple ships. So we see this business starting to expand. It's something we've been working on for a number of years, and we're now starting to see that work come to fruition.
Wow, congratulations. I mean, isn't that nice for you? You've been working on it for a few years. You've had the U.S. Navy that you've been working with, and now you have the Royal Canadian Navy saying, we would like to work with American Superconductor as well. Tell me a little bit about that deal. Does it help the bottom line? Does it give you more exposure? What do you expect from this deal?
So if you think about the most recent financials, we just started to break through with reporting non-GAAP net income and positive cash. We did that for last year. That's the first time in a long time we've been able to do that if we've rebuilt this business. But going forward, we think that this Canadian order, presents about a $75 million contracted opportunity for us to do engineering plus multiple ships. It should help transition that part of our business to start to generate margins similar to the rest of the business, which certainly will help the bottom line pretty dramatically.
That's pretty exciting. When will we see that take place? Will that be in the back half of this year or next year?
The ramp for Canada, that's going to start probably next year in 2025. And that will be a persistent level of revenue that we'll be able to deliver multiple ships at. And we already have the 2 U.S. platforms that have ramped up a bit. So we're seeing probably, let's say, over the next 4-6 quarters, we'll see a ramp of revenue for our ship protection business. And then, hopefully we can continue to add to that backlog. With the U.S. Navy, we've generated more than $50-60 million of hardware business to be able to insert in the fleet. We've done tens of millions of dollars of development. The real sea change here is we're doing production units now to be inserted into the fleet for the U.S. Navy. And then hopefully, I think our first ship system is due for the Royal Canadian Navy in 2026.
and some deals in the world of wind as a power, Inox Wind. Tell me a little bit some of those orders and what that means for the company. Maybe an explanation for folks who don't necessarily understand this type of power as well.
Yeah, the past year we've seen a pivot more towards our larger turbine with our Indian partner, Inox Wind. They're launching a 3 megawatt wind turbine that uses our control systems. We got our first small production orders last year. Their backlog has doubled nicely over the past couple of years here, and it's going into a business in India that's projected to double again. So we think that we're in a position where we're really literally going to have the wind at our back in India and help drive additional growth in the business.
Yeah, I see Roth MKM maintaining a buy rating. They raised the target price to $27. You're at $24.80 today, up from $20. So you're getting some positive comments from the analysts. I mean, what do you tell them on the calls when they ask about some of the headwinds, let's say, for your kind of company, and how do you tackle those headwinds?
Yeah, I think all of our analysts just raised all their targets for us.
Yeah.
We've had a business that had experienced some headwinds in our past. I think that's behind us, at least for the immediate future. It seems like, all four pieces that move our business are moving us in a very positive direction, and we're very poised for growth. I don't really have a negative thing to tell you today. I wish I could create one. I want to knock on wood and say, things are very good now, and we think that they're only going to get better here in the relatively near term even.
Yeah, I see. By the way, I see Oppenheimer, Craig Hallam. They raised. I see a buy ratings, but their targets are $23, which is lower than the current stock price. And
I think one of them just raised it from 23 to 33. I think that just came out recently.
All right, so you'll take that, right? You'll take that. Tell me a little bit. When you mentioned the headwinds, you said, well, the four things that could be the headwinds all seem to be in line. And yeah, I don't want you to create any negativity and put that in the. Yeah, good. I don't want you to create negativity and put that in the universe. I like that things are going your way. What are the four things that could be the headwinds that are now in line with what you're hoping for the next year or so?
I literally don't see any headwinds. I don't know if you're confusing tailwinds and headwinds, because we've had an economy that has seen a lot of headwinds. Our business sees a lot of tailwinds. We see a lot of positives in renewables, in materials, and semiconductors, as well as the military. Everything is very well positioned for us right now that we should benefit nicely from the macro events that move our business.
And what about the global footprint? I mean, you mentioned the work you're doing in Canada. Where do we stand globally with this company?
Yeah, we do about 3/4 of our business in North America. Obviously, we're going to see some expansion with Canada there. The other quarter of the business we do globally. Probably about 10% of our business has been in India. Hopefully that will continue to grow in the future. So we were a number of years ago, we were more of a diversified geography. We've kind of went back home and built our US market, and now we're starting to see expansion globally coming for us for all our products, which is another potential tailwind for us as well.
Yeah. Daniel McGahn, thank you so much, CEO at American Superconductor.
Great to see you.
Thanks very much. It's great to see you. Appreciate it.